All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the office here. I think it's been a while since I've made a video in the office, so I figured it would be a good time to make one, kind of like a vlog style video. Today is Monday, and Monday is one of my shorter client check-in days of the week. I only have 5 clients who are checking in with me today, and I've already kind of taken a look ahead at some of the check-in work, and I can already see one of my clients needs a new training program, and we've kind of been talking about that for a couple of weeks. And then one of my clients is going to need a diet adjustment today. So today should be a relatively straightforward day of check-in work. And what I thought would be fun to do today is to just kind of bring you guys along with me as we're going through the check-ins. Obviously, out of respect for my clients and everything, I'm not going to be showing pictures or videos or anything like that, the stuff that they've sent to me. But what I thought would be pretty cool is to just kind of give a little blurb about each client and kind of like my history that I have with them, or that we have with each other, and kind of some of the goals and everything that we've been working towards and some of the things that we have completed. And then kind of just bring you guys along with me and kind of give you some insight as to what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and kind of what's going through my head as we're going through these check-ins. So pretty excited for today's video. Obviously, I'm a coach full-time, so I love coaching, and I just love being able to help people reach their goals, as cliche as that sounds. But just the fact that I'm able to make a living off of this at this point in my life is such a blessing, and I just kind of want to be able to bring you guys along with me and maybe give you guys some advice and stuff as it kind of comes to the brain. But we'll just kind of see how the day gets started here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start jumping into some of this check-in work. So the first check-in of the day is going to be for my client, Anthony. Anthony and I have actually been working together for a very long time. This is going to be check-in number 115 that I do with Anthony. So over 2 years, kind of coming up on 2.5. I love working with Anthony. From day one, Anthony has been a complete robot. He has done everything that I've asked him to do without complaining, and he's done it perfectly. Trains his ass off, never cheats on his diet, and is just totally locked in. I'm very excited for the future with Anthony because we're kind of looking at doing his first show sometime hopefully soon here in the near future. Right now we're in the middle of a bulking phase. He's weighing about 210 pounds right now, and at the moment the bulking phase is going extremely well. So I kind of just want to ride this out for as long as it's going to continue to be successful. And then, as with every gaining phase, there's going to come a point in time where we're going to have to dip into a deficit and kind of clean up some body fat. And then once we kind of finish up that deficit phase, we'll kind of take a look at where his physique is at and either plan out whether we want to look at a competition and potentially start looking at getting a prep started, or whether we want to dip back into another off-season phase and then prolong the competition. But overall, everything has gone really good with Anthony. With someone like this who I've been working with for a very long time, the coach-client relationship is very effective at this point. The check-ins are not very long. Anthony very rarely has like obstacles. He's one of those guys that doesn't let like obstacles stand in his way. So he very rarely has things that like hold him back from his training and nutrition. But if he does have those things, he mentions those to me. But otherwise, the check-ins every week are very straightforward. Him nailing every box, me taking a look at his lifts. His lifts are progressing, his body weight's going up, his pictures are looking great, and he's definitely growing. So there usually is very few things that we really need to address with him. There actually are some things that I did need to address with him this week, though, on some of the training footage that he had sent me. I'm kind of noticing on his flies that as he's completing the reps, he's kind of caving forward at the chest, and he's letting his elbows kind of break a little bit. Traditionally, when I see a fly, I kind of like to see people keep their chest a little bit taller and a little bit more proud. And then as they come to hit that peak contraction, they keep their elbow as straight as they possibly can so that they can actually get as much humeral adduction, which is the purpose of the pecs. We want to be able to get that as much as possible as we're hitting the contraction on a fly. And when you break at the elbows like this, you're cutting off that amount of humeral adduction that you can get. And then especially as you're coming towards the contraction, if your upper back is coming off of the pad and you're rounding forward like this, you're shifting a lot of tension out of the pecs into the front delt. So I did notice that on his training video footage today, so I will be addressing that on his check-in video. But otherwise, everything this week has been pretty good, as expected with him. By the way, before I get this set up and kind of show you guys what this looks like, I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I always do my client check-in replies with a personalized video. I do believe at this point in online fitness coaching, I think that we're past the point of emails. I know that a lot of the top world-class coaches and everything still kind of do a lot of communication through email. But in my personal opinion, if you're spending however much you're spending for a coach, just for them to send you an email once a week that says, this looks good, we don't need to change anything, what kind of service are you really getting in exchange for your money? So for me, it's very important that my service is personalized. The definition of personalized, like something is made specifically for the individual, and part of that personalized process for me is communicating face-to-face through video with each client. So that's a big chunk of what my day is filming these types of check-in videos for my clients. So we're gonna get Anthony's video filmed and then sent out to him, and then start making our way down the list for the check-ins for the day. Yo, Anthony, what's going on, bro? Hope things are going good with you, man. Hope you've had a good week and a good weekend as always. I did want to hold for now. I just kind of want to see what the body weight looks like next week. As far as your steps and everything, steps got hit and they're on track to get hit again. So nothing that I want to change here. I just want you to hold the diet and the steps and everything for me for another week, and then when you check in with me next week, then we'll see if we need to make any changes there. In terms of the training was very good this week. Everything continues to progress. Really the only thing that I wanted to know from you is the leg extension. You did try that single leg on the lower A day, so I just kind of want you to let me know how that felt. So I'm noticing two things. I'm noticing that your elbow is breaking and you're getting a little bit of a bend in that elbow here. So instead of coming together like this with your arms straight, your arms are coming together like this, where you have that bend in your elbow. And instead of your chest kind of coming forward and rounding like this, I want you to pick your chest up and make your chest nice and tall. Keep your chest nice and tall and keep your back in contact with the pad. Hope you've had a good week and a good weekend, and as always, just let me know what I can do for you, okay? Okay, the next check-in is for Nadim. I forgot to mention this when I was talking about Anthony, but I reply to my check-ins in one of, I guess based off of one of two scenarios. One is the order that people turn them in, and then number two would be by region. So today is a region day. Everybody had their stuff turned in by the time that I woke up, so I will answer all the check-ins by region. So I'll do the East Coast and international clients first, and then I'll do like Central Mountain Time Zone second, and then I'll finish with my West Coast check-ins. So Anthony lives in New York and Nadim lives in Florida, so they're East Coast, so I try to get their response to them as soon as we can. I've also been working with Nadim for a really long time. This is week 84, so over a year and a half, and kind of coming up on 2 years now. Nadim is in a really interesting point in his life. He just graduated from high school this week, so for all of us who have already done that in our lives, you know, you can kind of remember how busy of a time that was, and how there's a lot of things going on, you know, not only with wrapping up school, but graduation parties and getting ready for college and summer jobs and all of that other stuff. So Nadim is a super busy guy right now, and so lately our check-ins have kind of just been focused on making sure that he's hitting the variables that he can while he has all of these social and life events and everything going on. Obviously at this point, with all the things that he's got going on, it's going to be hard for him to be super duper locked in with everything that he's doing, and I am not quite sure that I even want him to be. You know, I want him to be able to be enjoying these graduation parties and stuff like that with his friends, and being able to have some good food and stuff like that. So right now it's just kind of mostly been about staying the course and making sure that he's at least holding his body weight. He's not gaining weight too quickly, and he's not dropping in body weight either. And then as far as training, obviously trying to progress the lifts if he has the ability to do so, but a lot of the past couple of weeks between the graduation stuff and then finals, his sleep has not been the best. He's been staying up later, needing to study and take care of a lot of those things. So hopefully in a couple of weeks here, as life kind of settles down for Nadim a little bit, we'll be able to get back to hitting things at 100%. But lately we've kind of just been focusing on hitting things at about 90%, and then leaving a little bit of flexibility and leniency in the plan so that he can enjoy this super important time in his life. What's going on, man? Hope sleep has been a little bit lower and the stimulants have been a little bit higher. This is really kind of the main thing that I want to kind of get on track this week, is to get the caffeine brought a little bit down, and then get your sleep schedule kind of back into a better position. Training this week was okay. You know, again, you had a couple of the workouts that you were kind of tempted to skip, but you were still getting in there and still getting them done. Again, I would say that your training this week was pretty solid. We've definitely had better weeks of training, but as far as getting 4 of your 5 workouts in while managing all the graduation parties and everything, I think that this is actually a pretty solid week, all things considered. On the upper A day, we did get some more reps on the hammer press and the lat pull down. Congratulations on graduation, and I'm sure that you're super excited for your summer and all the grad parties and everything that are going to be going on. All right, check-in number 3 is for Chad. I just mentioned a little bit ago that my first check-in group is East Coast and international clients. Chad actually lives in Australia. So Chad is about 15 hours ahead of the time zone that I live in. I work with actually a lot of international clients. I'd have to sit here and crunch some numbers, but I would say probably 1/3 of the client base that I live with don't live in the United States. Just off the top of my head, I have a client in Canada. I have Chad who lives in Australia. I have a client who lives in Sweden. I have a client who lives in Ireland. I have a client who lives in Saudi Arabia. I have a client who lives in South Africa. And I'm sure if I checked my client list, I could probably think of some others. So Chad's time difference for me is the biggest one that I have. If you can kind of geographically picture a world map, you know, we have the United States, which is basically on the far east side of the map, and then we have Australia, which is basically on the far west side. So that is the biggest time difference that I have. Usually with my clients that live in Europe or the Middle East, they're only about 6, 7, 8 hours ahead of me. So when those guys check in with me, those will actually be the very first check-ins that I do during the day. Because the time difference for Chad and I is so extreme, I can kind of push his check-in a little bit further down the order, because even if I get him this check-in right now it's about 4 a.m. for him in Australia. So he's not even going to see it for a couple of hours. But just to kind of stay in routine, I'll always do the international clients and everything first. I've been working with Chad for 70 weeks, so over a year now. And I'm really excited about Chad's check-in today because we are going to be making a change to his training split. For the entire time that I've been working with Chad, we've been following an upper-lower split, and that's because he's really only had 4 days available in the week that he could train. But recently, he has also had a life change, and he's gotten a new job and a new career. So his schedule has kind of opened up a little bit more, and he has kind of expressed interest in running an upper-lower and a full-body training hybrid. So one of the things that we'll do a little bit later this afternoon is actually create that split. At the moment, I don't have the split put together, but I am going to get him his check-in for everything else. And then once I finish all the check-ins for the day and I sit down and I do my second client shift of the day, that's when I'll actually put together the program and finalize it. So pretty exciting stuff for Chad, getting a new split and everything added into the program. And I'm really just kind of excited to go over some of the details and everything with him a little bit later today. Yo, Chad, what's going on, man? Hope things are going good with you. And as always, hope you've had a good week and a good weekend. This check-in video, you're actually going to get 2 check-in videos from me today. This first one is going to be a little bit shorter, and then you're going to get a different one later from me in the day about the training split changes. The calf raises, I think that your stretches need to be longer on these. I would say pretty much every single rep you're not holding that stretch for long enough. So this has never really been a huge major problem with you before. Normally you kind of hold these stretches pretty solid, but I did notice this week that these were kind of weak. So I would like to see these get fixed as we kind of start the new program there. Otherwise, man, you'll hear from me in a couple of hours once I get your split put together. And then obviously, if you have any questions on the split, we can cover that then. Okay, check-in number 4 is for my client, Ken. Ken is in the central time zone. He actually lives in Iowa. I actually have a pretty interesting history with Ken. I was working with Ken for probably like 6 to 8 months back in 2022 or 2023. And then he had some things that kind of came up in his personal life for where we needed to kind of take a break from coaching. And then recently he reached out to me and wanted to get signed back on again. So we are only in week 2 of our rejoining phase, I guess that you could call it. So I'm still kind of in the stages of kind of trying to figure out his calorie intake that he needs and training volume and all of that type of stuff. So even though this is somebody that I had worked with before a couple of years ago, obviously things are somewhat different in his life and in his training life, I guess that we could call it, between the last time that we had worked together. So kind of just trying to refine our footing and kind of try and pick up where we left off as best as we can. Ken, what's going on, man? Otherwise, man, sounds like everything has been pretty good for you this week. Diet-wise, you hit all of your numbers with no deviations there and no digestive issues or anything. Everything is going pretty smoothly. Training is going very good, other than the exertion headaches, which you had mentioned. The 2 main things with the exertion headaches are going to be hydration and making sure that you're staying hydrated, and then breathing. The big thing is going to be the breathing. I notice a lot of times when people hold their breath while they're lifting, say you're doing like a chest press and you kind of come down, and then when you go to press out, if you're like holding your breath that entire time, holding the breath can kind of cause that pressure buildup in your head, from my experience. For the most part, man, sounds like everything is going pretty smoothly and pretty happy with the way that things are shaping up. And the second thing would be rotation, which would be like how much is your torso rotating from left to right, and I don't really notice any of those things are happening. The cue that I kind of like to use when we're looking at a rowing movement is I like to imagine that your torso here is like a steel beam and everything is kind of completely locked in place, and then the only thing that is moving is your elbows are kind of driving around that, and that definitely looks like you're checking every box on that. So everything there looks pretty solid. And if there's anything else that you need from me, then just let me know, okay? Have a good one, and we will talk soon. And then check-in number 5, which is going to be the final check-in for the day, is for my client, Daniel. Daniel lives in California, so he's on the West Coast, so I do typically save West Coast clients for last just because of the time difference. I have a very similar situation to Daniel that I have with Ken. I worked with Daniel for probably about 6 to 8 months back in either 2022 or 2023, and then recently he reached out to me to want to get started again as well. He had reached out to me about 10 weeks ago now. We're in week number 9 check-in at this point. So I have had a bit more time with Daniel to be able to kind of pick back up with where we had left off and kind of figure out where he's at. Daniel was actually sick last week and was not able to get into the gym at all. So this week for us has really just kind of been about getting back in the gym, getting back into routine, and being able to actually eat normal foods and be able to kind of stomach everything there. Daniel, what's going on, man? Guys, as far as training, you've obviously been back in the gym, back on track ever since the sickness has been gone. Sleep has been good, no issues there. Diet numbers have been hit all of your days, and digestion, there's no real issues or anything with that. When we take a look at your body weight actually did go down a little bit this week. Nothing that I really wanted to change here. I did want to hold for another week, and then depending on what things look like when you check in with me next week, then we can potentially take a look at making some changes there. As far as the training, as I mentioned, we are able to get back into the gym this week. The full body C was the first workout that we did. The easy bar curls, we've already kind of talked about these, man. Really happy to see that these are progressing again after going a while with them kind of stalling out. And then the dumbbell laterals, I will probably go ahead and get swapped out next week. You know, we've been kind of talking about these for a while here, and we were even doing these when we were doing the upper lower split a while ago. So everything seems to be going really good with all of the film. Okay, the first check-in shift is done, and I have sent the check-in responses for everyone for the day. So now we're gonna get into the second shift of the day, which is where I make programming, nutritional, any sort of like back end changes that need to be made for the clients. So this is not only limited to the clients that checked in with me today, and most of the time this is not for the clients that checked in with me on that particular day. It's usually for other things. So for example, Chad this morning, who I talked about is getting a new split, I will make that split now, like during the second shift of the day is where I'm gonna actually put that together and then get that to him. I don't like to do that first thing, like in the morning, like replying to his check-in. For example, if I had opened up his check-in and then made the program and then sent the check-in response, he wouldn't be getting his response for like another couple of hours. And I really want my clients to get their responses as quick as they can possibly get them. For those of you guys who are really like into the coaching industry, or maybe have like aspirations of getting into the coaching industry, the biggest thing, guys, I don't know how many times I've had this happen. I don't know how many of the clients that I'm currently working with were working with another coach at one point, and then the main reason why people leave coaches is because the coach is not giving them a good quality service. They're either not replying to them at all, or they're taking forever to get back to them. So for me, priority number one every single day is get client responses to them as fast as I can. Because that's the service that they pay for. And I kind of wake up every day. I don't want to say there's like a cloud that hangs over me, but like I basically wake up every day and my first thought is like, need to get check-ins out right away. And then once I get the check-ins out and I get everybody responded to, the other bits of client work, changing diets, changing programs, maybe updating payment methods, updating progress picture albums. All of that stuff is secondary. I want to get the response to the people first right away, and then that second shift of the day is definitely a little bit more calm. So like, for example, Terrence Ruffin, the day that I'm filming this video is May 19th, 2025. So this past weekend, Terrence Ruffin just won the New York Pro. No, he won the Pittsburgh Pro last week. Obviously in Pittsburgh, so with an exceptional showing. So Terrence Ruffin has made some incredible improvements since the last time that he competed, and he just recently uploaded, he was a guest on the Overcome podcast, and basically what they're talking about in this is how he made that progress. So during this shift, I'll usually kind of just like listen to stuff like that and chill out while I'm kind of putting people's stuff together. But my initial check-in shift in the morning is usually very focused. I mean, I'm really like usually not listening to music, not usually listening to anything else that can distract me. I'm really trying to sit down and trying to get the check-ins done as quick as I can. So some days this second shift here doesn't even exist. Sometimes, I have days where people check in and everything is going good. Nobody needs a diet change. Nobody needs a program change. And then the client work is kind of done for the day. But today is a day where I have some stuff that I need to do. So I have Chad's program, which is what we're going to make now. And then I have another client whose name is Nick. Nick checks in with me on Thursdays. And over the past couple of weeks, Nick has kind of been mentioning to me that he's been moving some things around in his diet. He's still eating the same things every day. He's just kind of been taking things from one meal and putting them in another. And then he's kind of had some changes that he wants to make to the diet to kind of get some new foods in there. So that'll be the second thing that I do this afternoon, is just kind of plug and play in his diet and see where we can kind of move things around. So those are really the only two things on the to-do list right now. There is the potential that as I'm working, people start getting back to me from their check-ins earlier this morning, and then we need to make some other changes. So obviously if other things pop up, we'll get those taken care of. But for now, we're going to get this podcast plan, and we're going to knock out some programming and some meal plan updates. Chad's split has been put together. We're going to film him a second video for the day and then get that sent over to him. Chad, what's up? Long time no talk. We'll just go ahead and we'll jump right into this, man. So obviously at this point, the split is put in here. AM press, a fly. If you want to stick on the pec deck, that's fine. If you want to change to a cable or something else, that would be fine. Some sort of a tricep exercise, whether that would be a push down or an extension. And lateral one, again, a lot of different bicep curls, so I want you to pick 2 of them. I will probably never touch the volume on full body sessions. I basically will keep everything at 1 set per exercise. All right, Chad's split has been made. The video has been recorded and sent out to him. Now we're gonna work on Nick's diet. So Nick has kind of sent me a list of the foods that he would like to incorporate in his diet. So basically I'm gonna plug them in to his current diet and then just kind of see where the calories and everything come out to be. And if we need to add more calories, then we'll do that. And if we need to get rid of calories or food, then we'll figure out where we're going to do that from. So that's what we'll do next. While I do that, I'm going to finish up this podcast that I was listening to that I mentioned earlier. This has been a great episode, by the way. Basically, to spoil it, Terrence has basically been talking about his training methods to put on 10 pounds of muscle since the last time that he competed. And it sounds like he has been basically doing upper, lower, and full body training for the past, I don't remember how long, but obviously long enough to have made this sort of impact into his physique, which is a big confidence booster, because basically, you know, that's what I've been doing for the past year, and I have noticed that I've grown quite a bit in that year. So to get confirmation from, in my opinion, the best in the game in the classic physique division at the moment, just to kind of get that confirmation that he has done that as well and had long-term success with it is just a good feeling. So obviously, you know, I'm smart enough to know and see that it's working on me and to trust the process and know that it will continue to work, but then to also have that bias backed up by a top level pro is a good feeling. So anyways, let's look at some diet numbers here. Nick, what's up, man? Hope you've had a good weekend and everything. I just wanted to give you a real quick video. This will probably be like less than a minute. For now, just continue to drink that with your breakfast, okay? All right, so Nick's diet has been updated and sent out to him. And at the moment, it looks like that is it for today. It's about 4 p.m. So probably for the remainder of the night, I'll probably have some messages and stuff like that that are gonna come through, and just have some questions and stuff that I'll have to answer. But in terms of actual client work, the day is done. So you know, now the rest of the day, we have fun things to do. We got to do some laundry, yay. Prep the meals for tomorrow. I'll probably edit and post some content and stuff like that. But, you know, the actual workload for the day is complete. Monday's kind of a shorter work day for me. And with it being a rest day today as well, it was kind of easy for me to just kind of bang everything out right after one thing right after another. So tomorrow we're back in the gym. We've got full body D tomorrow. So we're going to be doing some stiff legs and some hack squats. Very excited for that. Rest of the night is going to be pretty chill here, and then going to try and get a good night's sleep so that we can smash the workout tomorrow. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. If you guys are interested in one-to-one coaching, then I've got my services and everything in the description below. If you guys have any questions about anything, then obviously leave that as a comment on this video. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? What are you doing here? If you're not hitting the sub button, do it. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves. Oh.